What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, as you can see, we have a brand new build for the channel, and it's worse than the last one. As you can see, this bike has lots of damage. I'm gonna get to it in a minute, but that seems to be the trend on the channel. Every bike rebuilds just gets worse and worse and worse. So as usual, we're gonna bring it outside, give it a proper wash, and then we can get into it and start talking about all the many damage that's on this bike, because I'm sure there's always something hidden. And now guys, with the bike all cleaned up, let's get into it and start talking about everything that's wrong with it. Starting in the front end of the vehicle, as you can see, the dash is clearly busted. Super bummed about that. I was hoping that this is going to be salvageable, but as you can see, it isn't. The headlight bracket or the front fairing stay is also destroyed. The steering stabilizer, as you can see, is completely destroyed too. The front fender is non-existent. The forks on this bike are also bent and leaking quite badly. As you can see, it's collecting over there. This is perhaps a better view. You can see how it just curves right over here, and we have those leaking forks. Super bummed about that too. The rad is leaking. You can see the coolant mark over here. The lower triple tree is destroyed. You can see the sign over here and over here too. As you can see where it's smacked right against the frame on both sides. The engine covers appear to be okay. There's no scratches on the frame. That's a bonus. No scratches on the swing arm, but we're gonna get back to that. The gas tank over here has a dent and some scratches, and this dent is starting to rust already, as you can see. So this is gonna need a new paint job. In the back, as you can see over here, the fairing is completely destroyed. It's missing. The seat has some damage over here too. The rear tail light assembly is all destroyed over there, so we're gonna need to replace that. And over here, this stock fender is not in a good condition, so a tail tidy for sure. The exhaust seems to be okay so far, just some little scratches, which is not bad. The swing arm appears to be okay. We're gonna get back to that again. And going over here, no damage, no scratches to the frame or the rear sets. That's all good, so that's a win. And over here, as you can see, I have the beautiful jack supporting the motorcycle. And if we remove this beautiful piece of wood over here, whoa, we got a nice surprise over there. No idea how that happened. I've never seen that happen on a motorcycle, and I've also rebuilt quite a bit of motorcycles, and this came as a surprise to me. As you can see, the swing arm is completely destroyed, but it doesn't stop there. If we drop down lower over here, as you can see, the connecting arm is also snapped clean out on both sides. Never seen this before. No idea how something like this would happen. This damage is one of a kind. But without much more talking, you know how we do. We're going to get into this, start tearing it apart and figuring out what parts needs to be replaced. With that said, the next thing I'm going to do is put some power to this bike, attempt to start it up, make sure we have a good working engine before we start diving too deep into this. Now we have the booster part hooked up. Bike's running and it sounds good. That's really good. Bike started right away, no hesitation whatsoever. It sounds beautiful. I was told that this bike really has super low mileage. Obviously, I cannot tell just because the dash is busted, but I'm super happy about that. Now I'm gonna drain the coolant. Got no coolant up there. And now same thing for both coolant lines. I think we got an A for effort. The mess is quite minimal. That's a win. And just like that, we have the original ride of the motorcycle. Now I'm going to remove the coolant reservoir. And we have that out. And the ride fan. And we have the fan out. Alright guys, and just like that, we can see what I presume is the cause of the leak over here, because the blue coolant is clearly visible in this area on the other side. and this is caused by the coolant fan being pushed in here. Since overall the rad appears to be in really good condition, I'm going to attempt to have that repaired. If it's successful, good. If it isn't, then I'll go for a replacement one. Alright guys, right now what you see is the radiator from the Suzuki GSXR 750. As you can see, I've done my best to clean out this area where I know for sure has a leak. I've kind of fixed it because it was pushed in before. Right now I've kind of rigged this up. As you can see, there's some duct tape over here, multiple layers, some over here, and another one over here. And I've also connected one of the hoses like this, and I've hooked it up to the air gun. My goal is to pressurize this and confirm that this is in fact the only leak that's on this rad before I attempt to fix it. Obviously, I know there are pressure testing kits out there for sale, but this is a quick DIY that I just came up with on the spot before I went ahead with the process of repairing this rad. Now, I'm going to cut you guys back in, show you exactly what I'm doing, and see if we can actually find any other leaks. We're going to go ahead and connect the air gun. We're going ahead and spraying around. We have a confirmed leak over here. Obviously, my make do still is not working the greatest, same as over here. So it appears that this is the only leak on this rad for now. Alright guys, as you can see, we have the old radiator over here. You can see where I attempted to perform a repair over here. I'm not even going to bother showing that video because, as you can obviously tell, it did not turn out good. And that's why we have this over here. We have a replacement radiator in here. This is obviously not going to get used. We're going to remove all the components in this one to this brand new one, and we can get it installed on the 750. Now we're going to bring this radiator out and get it installed on the bike. I have fully assembled this rad. I've also go ahead and washed it out just to make sure there's no debris in it. Now I'm going to install the rad fan. Now I'm going to install the brand new rad. We're going to line it up in here. Now I'm going to install the coolant reservoir. That's installed. Now I'm connecting the coolant hoses. And now securing it in place. Like so. If you've watched my video long enough, you know I always throw this GB racing engine covers on all my motorcycles. It saves you in case you go down and you don't have to replace one of these expensive covers. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this on, and then we can keep on throwing more parts on the 750. Now we're going to start by installing the alternator cover, which is this piece over here, and that slaps on like this. And now we have the cover for this side of the motorcycle. Slaps on just like so. Now I'm going to put the cover on. Now guys, as you can see, we have the engine cover installed on the left side of the motorcycle and also on the right side of the motorcycle. It's obviously looking good. Again, like I said, this is going to protect the bike if it ever goes down. The new rad installed, we're going to go ahead and do a coolant flush. Fill it up with just water right now, run the bike for a little bit, drain it, and then throw some proper coolant in the motorcycle. And now we're going to start it up. Alright guys, so you basically want to run the bike until the coolant fan kicks on. Right now, as you can see, the fan is not on yet. That means it's not reached operating temperature just yet. And now we're gonna go ahead and drain the water. Oh, so good. Now that I've cleaned up the mess, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the second coolant hose. And now reconnecting both hoses. Now I'm gonna go ahead and refuel the coolant system with some new coolants. Alright guys, now as you can see, we have the new radiator fully installed on the motorcycle. We have coolants completely circulated. This vehicle has been ran up to temp multiple times, and that's now okay. The next part we're going to throw on this bike is going to take care of the front end of this motorcycle. So, let's get to it. Alright, so what I have in this box is the complete front end of this motorcycle. And we're going to be installing on the 750. So as you can see, I went for the same gold forks, exact same year model of the Gsx-R 750. So this is going to be a direct bolt-on. And here we have it. Alright guys, now as you can see, I'm prepping to remove these forks from the motorcycle. Everything is done down below. We're gonna go ahead and secure the motorcycle to the cherry picker, aka engine hoist, and get ready to drop this assembly. Alright guys, now as you can see, I've removed the front tire of the motorcycle. I have the tire sitting here, I have the axle back in the tire, and the axle is actually okay. It's straight and true, there's nothing wrong with the axle. But if we go back over here and we look at these forks, you will see that the left fork is way lower than the right fork. And that's because the right fork is completely seized. There's no moving this. It's solid in place compared to the left one that goes up and down. So there's something wrong with this on the inside. Now we have things on the bottom taken care of, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking care of things up front so we can get ready to drop the forks. I also just realized that right in this ignition assembly, we have an open circuit right over there. So we're gonna need to fix that for sure. But somehow the bike still started okay. And now guys, as you can see, we have the complete steering stem or lower triple tree of the motorcycle. We have the motorcycle on the lift, still supported over there. We have the old forks out here, and as you can clearly see, that one is bent and it's a lot shorter than the other one. I have tried to get this thing to come back to its full length, but it's impossible, and it is it's not even compressing anymore. It's fully shut. No idea how something like that happens. But we have this one that appears to be straight, but it's not worth the risk. We have two brand new ones, and this is what a proper set of forks should look like, nice and straight. We have the replacement unit over here, and as you can see up on the triple tree, or on the lower triple tree, you can see how destroyed these are from the impact, and we have the brand new one over here, completely untouched. So we're gonna go ahead and test this on the motorcycle and start securing things all back together. Alright guys, now as you can see, I've gone ahead and secured the lower triple tree and forks to the frame of the motorcycle. And I obviously know what you guys are thinking. Why haven't I shown how exactly I removed the nuts for the lower triple tree? Which are these nuts? Well, I took care of that in a special way because I do not have the Suzuki recommended tool. I had to come up with something. So I basically sacrificed one of my screwdrivers, made it flat like this, and with a hammer, I was able to get both of them off and re-secure it back to spec. I counted exactly how much threads were sticking out, which was almost one, and we got it back exactly where it was before. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the top triple tree. Go ahead and secure it with the hardware. Now I'm gonna secure the steering stabilizer. And now that's all good. Alright guys, as you can see, I have the front forks fully installed. Nothing is torqued to specification just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and install the front wheel with the new axle that was received with this assembly over here, and then we can torque everything down to specification. Now guys, as you can see, we have everything completely put together. It's looking good. We have the cherry picker, engine oil is completely disconnected now. Everything up front here is fully torqued to specification. So lots of really good progress on the 750 so far. As you can see, I have the front fairing stay off, at least what's left of it. I'm gonna go ahead and install a brand new one. And in here we have a brand new front fairing stay, and it looks a lot better than the one we just removed from this motorcycle. And now I'm going to install the brand new fairing stay. I'm going to line it up and put the hardwares in. And now I'm going to secure it in place. A whole bunch of parts has gone on this bike. We have the beautiful front fairing stay in here. We can't install our dash just yet because, as you can obviously see, it's in no condition to go on the motorcycle. we started working up front over here. We have a brand new rad over here, new forks, new lower tree, upper triple tree. All of that got taken care of. New front axle and a new front fairing stay or instrument cluster holder, whatever you want to call it. My goal is to tackle things on the rear end of this motorcycle. I obviously pointed out all the damages in the rear end of this motorcycle to you guys before. Now we're going to start replacing these parts. And to complete the repairs on the rear end of this motorcycle, we have a package over here from BG Power Sports. Now in here we have some very important components that's going to make this rebuild much possible. We have our beautiful dash, a replacement one. As you can see over there, the original one is destroyed and we picked up a nice replacement unit. And we also have our beautiful undamaged swing arm compared to what we have over there. They also decided to hook your boy up with a nice cup over here. Can't have too many of these. I also have some stickers in there. I'm gonna be sure to make use of this. So now that we have the new parts out of the way, it's time to get into removing the old swing arm. Now I'm removing the connecting arm. Got the bolt out. Now we're gonna remove a special Suzuki apparatus over here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the chain. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the shock absorber. It's easily accessible on both sides, and then we can pull out the swing arm. Got the nut out. Now I can remove both the shock and the swing arm. And now guys, as you can see, I have the swing arm and the shock separated from the motorcycle, and we have those two parts over here. And if we look on this side of the swing arm, you can see the extent of the damage. This piece is actually bent. You can see that little curve in there. So this sustained quite some damage. And you can see how this connecting arm is completely snapped clean off. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. But we have a replacement piece for this, of course. And as usual, it's obviously dirty in here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this out before we start fitting the new or the replacement swing arm assembly. So now let's get to cleaning. Now guys, as you can see, I've cleaned out everything in that area. We have our new connecting links over here to replace the one that is completely destroyed. So let's get to it. And for reference, you can see how badly destroyed this is. Both of them. This is just crazy. But we have the brand new CNC aluminum replacement ones. That's gonna go on the bike. And now just so you guys have a better idea of the damage in the swing arm, as you can see, it's super dented over there, and this piece is actually bent and curved. Compared to this one, it's nice and straight and looks good over here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install the new swing arm on the motorcycle. Now I'm going to install the new connecting link. Alright guys, it's another day in the garage. We're gonna hop back on the 750. I now have the swing arm fully installed on the motorcycle. Really good progress. I will not be replacing the chains and sprocket in this bike because like I mentioned before, it had super low kilometers, about 2,000 kilometers on this bike. So it is really good. I might install a new chain, yet to be seen. Over in this corner over here, we have a lot of the original parts, pieces, little bits and pieces that we're gonna need to put this bike together, that this bike came with. I really like having this, because there's always little things that you're gonna end up needing. So I have a whole bunch of stuff over here that's gonna help me put the 750 back together. At this point, I would like to throw on the brand new dash that we received, or new to us dash that we received. But before I go ahead and do that, I would like to repair this wiring that I found here, and then start throwing things together in the front end. And now I have the wiring situation taken care of here. We're gonna go ahead and remove the destroyed dash and install the new one. After going through my salvage parts, I found the one bushing that's required to mount the dash. Now I'm gonna install the new dash. And secure it in place. Alright guys, on the next part I'm gonna throw on the bike, the ram air intakes for the 750. I have two new replacement ones in here to go on the bike. Now over here where we have our parts warehouse, we also have a bushing to swap from that piece to install the new one. Oh wow, look at that. Alright, Milwaukee ratchet just died. So Milwaukee, I need some answers. Or a new ratchet. Or both. Now we have the plastics that go on the rear swing arm fully installed. We're gonna go ahead and take care of this big old plastic over here and install a tail tidy that should clean up the rear end a lot better. Grab that piece out and have this other broken piece out too. Quite dirty in here as usual. Got a starway in here. Now guys, as you can see, I've done quite a bit of cleaning over here. You have the battery reinstalled. Before I go ahead and button it up, I'm gonna go ahead and install this battery tender adapter so we can charge the battery if this bike sits for a long period of time. Now guys, the battery is fully installed. We have the battery tender cable installed. route it over here and just sticks out over here, nice and clean. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue putting things back together in this area of the motorcycle. Now for me to secure things in the bottom end over here, I'm going to install the new tail tidy. Which is going to fit them just like so. Now installing the license plate light, which is going to go like so. Yeah. And now I'm back here. As you can see, we've taken care of things in the back end. New fairing over there, new fairing underneath. I have the beautiful tail tidy fully installed over there with a nice license plate light that I wired up and installed. And now as you can see, the bike is turned on. If we go back here, brake light works, the license plate light works. Everything is looking really good over here. And we have the damaged clutch lever out. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and loop the clutch cable before I go ahead and reinstall everything. And now the clutch cable has been lubed. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall the cable. And now over here, I've picked up some new levers for the clutch and the brake side. Looks good. Now I'm gonna install the clutch cable. We're gonna install the new bushing. Now that's fully secured. And we have the original lever off. And now I'm ready to install the new lever. Now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and perform a caliper or brake service. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and drain all the brake fluid in this motorcycle. Now I'm gonna remove this bracket. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the brake hose at the master cylinder. And we should now route it correctly. and reinstall it. So now, like I mentioned, my goal is to perform a brake caliper service on the 750 because the brake caliper is in no good condition. As you can see in here, there's lots of debris and gunk built up over there, and the same goes for the other one too. It's not looking good. So my goal is to go ahead and clean this up as good as possible. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add some new brake fluid. And now I'm gonna start bleeding the brake system. As always, you always wanna start from the farthest brake caliper to the master cylinder, which is usually the clutch side on a motorcycle. Now we're going to close it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and top up the brake. Now I'm bleeding the master cylinder. Now we have excellent brake feedback. I'm going to go ahead and install the dust cap. That's it over there. And same on this side. And just like that, guys, we're looking really good in the front end of the motorcycle. We have the brakes bled, the caliper service completed, everything reinstalled and torqued to specification. Now I'm going to go over to the rear side of the motorcycle and do the same thing. We're going to bleed the rear brake caliper, perform a caliper service, and get some new fluid in there. Guys, I gotta tell you, it's never ending with this bike. As you can see over here, I just reinstalled everything. I put the rear wheel on and I just spun it for a sec and I was gonna walk away and I noticed something. Tell me you can see that. I'm sure you can see that on the camera. It's quite obvious. One more time. That wheel is not spinning straight. I'm gonna go over here. You definitely see it. Yep. Right about there. So yeah, it looks like we have a problem back here. And it's not a good one. But right over here, the wheel is bent. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's right over there. I'm not sure if this is fixable or not, but I was definitely not expecting that one. So we're gonna need to do something about that. More importantly, I don't even have any idea how something like this is gonna happen. Nothing, or none of this damage on this bike is making any sense whatsoever. The damage to the swing arm did not make any sense, and now the damage to the rear wheel, something is just not adding up on this bike. We're gonna attempt to fix this if possible. I highly doubtful. I'm gonna look to see if I can find a replacement one, obviously, and we'll see what happens. Today, guys, I have a few parts to throw on this bike. We should hopefully complete the rebuild on this bike. And those are the boxes over here, as you can see. Some major pieces to complete this. Let's get unboxing. So over here, I picked up some replacement mirrors. This is the aftermarket, and they're actually LED, not the regular halogen ones. And it's also tinted, so this should look really good on the bike. And in here, I have the replacement headlights with some LED bulbs I purchased. This is going to transform it, again, much better than the regular halogen that this bikes come with. And in here I have another special package from DJ Powersports, and I'm sure you can already guess what this is. And that is going to be the rear wheel for the motorcycle. If you remember in the last video, it was bent. I went ahead and heated it up, and I purchased this, and it's going to completely tie this together for us. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop out the rear wheel so we can install this one. And move on to doing some other things on the bike. And now we have the rear wheel fully installed, and it's as straight as possible. Obviously way better than the other one we just removed. There was no saving that one. It could possibly be repaired, but I'm much happier with the replacement wheel. Now if we go ahead and move this box away, we have another really special package in this box that's going to transform the look of the Gsx-R. So let's open it up. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox all of this, and we can start throwing it on the bike.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner.
And just like that, as you can see, I have unboxed all the fairings, and that literally has to be the best part about the rebuild. Unboxing brand new fairings and just imagine what it's gonna look like when it's all put together. I can't think of a better feeling, really. But now I have everything out here, and it's looking excellent. Beautiful paint job. I'm super happy about this. Obviously, I'm gonna need to get the tank painted. But right now, I'm very satisfied with it. So let's start piecing this together. I'm throwing it on the Gsx-R. So first, I'm gonna start with the most easiest one, obviously. So now the next piece we're gonna start working on is the front nose, or the headlight fairing, whatever you want to call it. Just like I mentioned, we have our brand new headlight in here. Looking good. Now I will be installing the rubber bushing that I removed from the damaged fairings. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the bulbs. The first one here. The second bulb. And now I have the headlight and the front fairing piece completely assembled, ready to go on the 750. I'm gonna go ahead and install the air tubes that goes on each side of this, and then we can toss it on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the windshield. Now I'm gonna connect the headlights. Now installing the side fairing. As you can see, the Gsx-R 750 is now being transformed. I'm sure you're gonna agree with me that this bike looks really, really good. Paint job on this fairing kit is just so fantastic. I have no complaints. Everything is lining up excellently well. Well, one complaint so far, as you can see, I've put this side fairing kit on so far, and then going over here, I was going to go secure it down here, and we have a problem. The fairing kit is contacting on this exhaust hanger, supposed to hold this piece that's supposed to go over here. I don't really need it, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this off over here and make sure that everything lines up in there, and we're just going to have our M4 sticking out. I mean, it's a really good slip-on and it sounds good. I might as well also notch this over here too while I'm at it. Let's get that going. Just like that, I have that bracket out. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the front fairing pieces that go over in this area over here. Now we have that piece on. The bike is definitely looking good. Now in this box we have the mirrors that's going to go on the front of the motorcycle. I'm going to toss it on now. Now installing the mirror on this side. Now I'm gonna secure the mirrors. And now guys, as you can see, I have both mirrors installed on the bike. The only problem is that these are LED mirrors, as you can obviously see. So when I turn on the indicator over there, we have nothing. But I have something to fix that. That is, we're going to be replacing the flasher relay to an LED one. So I have a new one in the box. Let's open it up, toss it in here, and check out this brand new mirrors. And that's it in there. And now we have the stock relay out. Now I'm going to install the new one. Now installing the tail line. That's fully secured. Now I'm going to secure it. Now installing the blinker. Now removing what's left of the fairing. Have that taken out. Now repeating the same process. Now I'm going to slide the latch in place, just like so. Now I'm going to install the cable. That's good to go. Now connecting the tail lights. Now ready to install this fairing piece. Let's secure the hardware. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. Alrighty guys, so it's another day in the garage and we just received these connectors that I ordered a little while ago, and these connectors are for the headlight. So on the Gsx-R there are 4 bulbs over here. There's one here, another one here, another one here. We currently have these 2 bulbs fully installed, but the bulbs on this corner I could not install it because I was missing the harness for it. So obviously I first checked all my piles of junk parts that came with this bike. There was nothing over there. I come to find out that this harness is actually mounted on the headlight, and the headlight on this bike was obviously destroyed. I only received pieces of the headlight when I picked up this bike. So after doing some research, I found the correct bulb type. I ordered the LED bulbs. Then I found the right connector that goes with the bulb, and this just arrived. So now I'm going to open this up, attempt to remove the dash, and it goes right in there to install this. I'm going to obviously wire it up and seal it up, and then I will have functioning headlights on the bike. So basically the bulb just slots in here like so, and we can install it. Over here I've completed the connection. I'm going to seal it up. And now if we try it out, bingo. And now guys, as you can see, I have the fuel tank off the motorcycle. It doesn't look terrible in here actually, so we're going to do some cleanup obviously. I'm going to throw in a brand new air filter because we're in this area. The spark plugs are okay on this bike because like I mentioned, this bike has super low mileage. But over here I have the fuel tank sitting on the box. We're going to start prepping this to receive some paint obviously. These fairing pieces are going to come off. We're going to mask all of this all around, cover this piece, and then get ready to throw paint on this. Come on, you got it almost there. Good job.
This is where the tap is. Where do I? Okay, I know what to do.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, it has been quite some time. Now I am able to hop back on the 750. And as you can see over here, I had the gas tank painted. I did not do this. I brought it to a body shop and they painted it just because I have so much on the go right now and there is absolutely no time. But the paint job did turn out really good. No complaints whatsoever. It's gonna go on the beautiful Suzuki 750. But before we do that, I'm gonna pop this cover off. We're gonna install the brand new air filter, do some cleaning in this area. And I have the filter out. Not in the greatest condition as you can see. Now I'm going to install the brand new air filter. Obviously it looks way better than the one I just removed. Now that's fully secured. And now I'm going to install the airbox cover. Alright guys, as you can see now I've completely cleaned up everything in here. Everything looks nice and good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the newly painted gas tank, and we can fire this beauty up. One more. One more. One more. Good. Easy. One more. So now, as you can see, I followed the outline of the OEM tank fairing. I've replicated all the .3M double tapes over here, same as that one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install it on the bike. And now with the double-sided tape here, we're gonna just put this in place. Hopefully get it right the first time. Alright guys, and there you guys have it. As you can see, everything is fully installed in the front end. There's only a couple more things to be done on this bike. Sprocket chains, as you can see, some little things up front. Still working on the rebuild of this bike, and as you can see, the newly installed forks where I just installed are leaking. That's not good. And it's not just the left side, it's the right side too. And here, it's even worse. Lots of oil. So, in today's video, I'm gonna fix that. If you've not been following the build series, we picked up this bike wrecked and we completely rebuilt it to this very point. Now there's just a couple minor things to fine tune to make this 100%. Now I'm gonna place my fancy new motorcycle jack. I've been dragging purchase one of this because I have a floor jack, but I felt it's about time to use the proper tool to get the job done. Can't forget a piece of wood, and then I'm gonna start lifting it up. Safety first. I'm gonna throw in some straps. And that's perfect. So now before I lift the bike and secure it, I'm gonna go ahead and break loose the top clamps for the forks over there. Now that I've protected the fork cap, I'm gonna use the Special Motion Pro adapter, get it off. And that's good. And the tape comes off. And now that's loose. So I picked up this nice little brake caliper hangers. I think this will work just perfect for securing the brake calipers out of the way. Yeah, look at that. Not in the way, completely secured. It's the little things, you know? So now what I'm doing is loosening the lower 333 climb bolts, 1 and 2 right over there, so we can drop the forks. It is a bit of a pain to get to. I'm trying to avoid taking the front fairing off, and with this flexible ratcheting wrench, I'm able to get it off. I'm now removing the caliper on this side. Got it safe and sound. One fork out, fork out. So now that I have the fork opened up, I have another piece of expensive tool over here from Motion Pro. It's called a fork guide wrench. Fork cap is off. And now I have the forks clamped in the vise. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Motion Pro tool that I mentioned about and break loose the fork guide socket that's in there. And that assembly is out. Now I'm gonna undo the fork from the vise. It's out. And now we can drain whatever is left. I'm gonna set that there, drain. Now we have the fork separated. So just a quick look, you can see all the dirt that's collected inside the forks. This is possibly the cause of the fork seal leak. I could have possibly got away with cleaning this, but it's better to replace it. There's a lot of dirt in there. That's not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this part as good as possible, and then we can start throwing on the brand new fork seals and bushing. Alrighty guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and cleaned all the whole component for the forks. I've also prepped the outer tube and the inner tube over here. As you can see, it's clean and it's ready to be reinstalled. I have this piece of plastic over here to slide the bushings and the seals over without damage, and then we can move on with this build right now. And now I have the brand new fork seals over here. It's time for reassembly, so I'm going to set you guys to a time lapse and knock this out as quick as possible. Now it's reassembly time. Alright guys, as you can see, I've installed both forks on the motorcycle. That's really good. I currently have both tires off because I'm having another set of tires installed on the rims, so both tires actually match. If you recall, I installed a new rear wheel that came with a different tire, so now I've taken both of them off to have the same tire installed on the bike. Now reinstalling the drain plug. Now it's time to install the new oil filter. Now I have the original oil filter off the bike. Oil is still drained over there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the brand new oil filter, throw in some new engine oil, and we can start the bike up. Now the oil filter is on. As you can see, I've filled up the oil to the specified level. I'm gonna go ahead and start the motorcycle up. Obviously the oil is gonna circulate, it's gonna drop a little bit, and I'm gonna top it up one more time. And now with that done, oil is now at the specified level. In the meantime, I did receive a package I've been waiting for, and that's this left control switch. As you can see, that one has some damage over here. I went ahead and picked up a used one. Got the cable out. Now as you can see, this is the replacement one over here. I have this connector from the original one completely disconnected in there. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the new connector, completely close all of this up, and then I'm gonna secure this up top here. Now we have the original one off the bike. And now just like that, we have the new left control switch fully installed and it's secured. And we have a perfectly functioning mode button now. Super excited about that.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough.
Alrighty guys, that's a wrap for the Suzuki GSXR 750 build. I'm super happy that everything turned out good. As you can see, the bike looks super good. Complete transformation from when we picked up this bike compared to what it looks like right now. I'm very happy about that. On that note, I want to thank you guys for following this build. Be sure to check out all the other videos on the channel and stay tuned for more fun stuff because it's only going to get better from here. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.